Okay, welcome everybody. We are in our sixth class, number six on Zoom. And for me, it's been pretty interesting. I've been trying to be creative in different ways on how we can all practice together. And one of the ways that I've been bringing in recently is to do internal mantras at the end of our class. Now, I just wanted to quickly explain what that means. And that is at the end of class while we're relaxing, you imagine to yourself a mantra. For example, last week or 2 weeks ago, we did So Hum. The mantra So Hum is just so as you breathe in and hum as you breathe out. And you imagine you're saying this out loud. Imagine that you're chanting it. And that vibration of that chant goes through your body. And it's been shown that these can have a lot of health benefits. As many of you may know, singing has a really good health benefit. Not just because we express ourselves, but also because of the type of vibration that goes on in our bodies. So this is what we're playing with the mantras at the end when we relax. Hello, Evelyn. Hello, everybody that's just arrived. Can I just know who is iPhone? When I don't get the names, I'm not quite sure who's joined us.
It's me, Geraldine.
Ah, hi, Geraldine. Nice to see you. You're not the only one with the iPhone, so I'm not sure or somebody else. So welcome, everybody. Okay.
Thank you.
So I was just explaining about the relaxation at the end. Of course, I won't know if you're actually playing along with it, but give it a chance, give it a try. I've been doing it with a lot of people on Zoom and a lot of private classes as well. And most people, the feedback is, wow, it's kind of nice. It feels really cool. And it also helps you to focus on one thing. And that's the benefit of mantras. When you focus on one thing, just on a sound or on a word, it trains your brain to be able to focus on other things when you need that focus. Meaning when you're at work and you need to focus on a project, it can really help to practice focusing on something, if that makes sense. Same thing if you're with a friend or your family or your loved one or your children, and you really need to focus on what they are saying or what they're communicating to you. Practicing a focusing relaxation or meditation exercise will make you better at focusing on things in your normal life. And there's a power in focus. You do things better, you get more done, and you're more present. When you're present on one project or on one person or on one idea, you live life better. If you're scattered thinking about many different things everywhere, life is scattered. So this is the benefit of the focus and the relaxation at the end. We're going to do a little bit longer, just to let you know, we usually do 5-7 minutes of relaxation at the end. Today we're going to do 10, a full 10 minutes where we'll work on some mantras. And instead of Sanskrit mantras, I'm going to do it in English. We'll do some English mantra. Okay? All good, everyone? Does everyone have a tennis ball? If you want to unmute yourself to let me know. If everyone has one, we'll work with it. If everyone doesn't, we won't work with the tennis ball. Does everyone have a tennis ball?
I do.
Yes?
Chris.
Yes, great. Does anyone...
Yes.
I have a tennis ball.
Great. Anyone not have a tennis ball? No? Claire, you have one?
I'm looking around. I'm sure I've got one somewhere. I'm going to send my daughter off to find one.
Okay.
We'll find one, yeah.
Okay. So we'll work with the tennis ball just at the beginning for the low back. Do you have a block? If you have a block, I can show you something different with the block.
Yeah.
We'll work with the tennis ball and or the block at the very beginning for the low back, and then we'll use it again at the end. Okay?
Gosh,
So-
can you find me a tennis ball? We've got a tennis ball. I will have a look. Yeah. I will
All
have a
right,
look.
so let's get started. I'm going to take my tennis ball. We get onto our mats, and I want you to place the tennis ball underneath the low back, really at the base of the spine, which is the sacrum. Okay, so if I were to show you here, it would be very, very low, almost just between the beginning of the glutes, right? It's very low on the low back. You place the tennis ball underneath you with your knees bent, head is down, shoulders relaxed. Now, let the pressure of the tennis ball move into the low back, okay? If you're working with the block, you can do the same thing with the block flat underneath the sacrum. It's going to have a little bit less of an effect because the tennis ball is smaller and the pressure is directly on the sacrum, whereas with the block, the pressure is a little bit onto the glutes as well. If you have the tennis ball, use the tennis ball. And what we're going to do is first straighten our right leg onto the floor, okay? Just stay here and let the pressure of the tennis ball move into the sacrum. Taking a few deep breaths. And you may feel the back maybe might crack, or it might move into a different position. If there's any pain, of course, stop and rebend your knees. But if you can hold this position for about 5 breaths, that would be great. See if you can relax down, especially the right hand side, into the earth. We'll take about 2 more breaths here. And we'll rebend the right knee, place the right foot back onto the floor, get that support. If you have the tennis ball again at the low back, hold it there, or the block, or even your rolled up mat. If you haven't got a block or a tennis ball, you could use a rolled up mat underneath the hips or a pillow. And let's stretch our left leg onto the floor. Notice especially if there's any difference between the right leg and the left leg. Notice if there's any sensation all the way up to the neck. Sometimes people can feel even up at the neck that there's a change in sensations. And you'll take deep breaths here. Again, we're staying for about 5 breaths. One more deep breath. And we'll rebend the knee. Now let's stretch both legs out onto the ground. Your hips will be lifted. There's strong pressure in the sacrum area. If it's too much, rebend your knees. You can hold it here for 5 breaths. That's great. Notice any change in your back. We're creating pressure, a pressure point on the thoracolumbular fascia, which is at the very low back. About 2 more deep breaths. Rebend your knees. And if you have a ball, rock your hips from side to side a few times. If you don't have a ball, take the block out from under you and place it to the side, or take out the pillow or your mat. Now, for those of you with the tennis ball, now take it out from behind you, place it to the side at a spot where you can grab it at the end of class. Bring your hips back down to the floor and stretch your legs onto the floor. Just here, notice how you're feeling. See if there's any difference in your back or in your neck, any sensations you might be having. Just observe. Observation can be very powerful. And take a deep breath in and raise your arms over your head, stretching from hands to toes. Breathe out, bring your right knee up to your chest. Squeeze it into the chest. Breathe in, raise your arms over your head, stretching from fingers to toes. Breathe out and bring your left knee to your chest and squeeze it against your chest. Breathing in, stretching fingers to toes. Go slowly. Breathe out, right knee comes up to the chest and squeeze it in. And again, breathing in, stretching fingers to toes, and breathing out. One more time each side. Reaching over your head, stretch your body, slowly breathe out. Bring one knee up. And then again, stretch your body. Breathing out, other knee comes up. Now lift both knees up to the chest. Rock from side to side, massaging the low back. Coming back to center, open the knees as wide as the shoulders and squeeze the knees towards your shoulders. Again, rock from side to side. Coming back to center, lift your head, bring your nose between your knees. Head comes back down to the earth. Stretch your right arm to your right ear and roll to your right hand side. From here, lift yourself from the side and swing your legs around so you can come up onto all fours. Palms flat against the earth. Arms as straight as possible. Knees directly underneath the hips. Gently dial your hands outwards so it releases the shoulders. Take a deep breath in, curl your spine. And breathing out, let's round the spine. Let's curl, breathing in. And rounding, breathing out. And again, let's curl, breathing in. Rounding, breathing out. Come back to a flat back. Walk your knees back about 20 centimeters. Tucking your toes under, let's rise to a downward facing dog pose. So take it easy in your down dog. Begin slowly. And if you're feeling any kinks, maybe in the hips or the low back, just begin moving in your down dog. Pedal your feet, move your hips from side to side, bending at the knees. Straightening both legs now. Take a deep breath in, move into a plank position. Dialing your fingers out so you have a nice strong base. Push back to downward facing dog. And again, breathing into plank position. Push back to down dog. One more time into a plank position. Belly strong, fingers dialing out. Lower your knees gently to the earth and move all the way down to the earth. Point your toes, lengthening out the legs. Okay. Gently lift your chest just a little bit. Keep the hands down, squeeze the shoulder blades, and looking forward, raise your right leg up. Bring it back down. Raise your left leg. Bring it back down. Now with breath. Breathe in, raise your right leg. Breathe out, lower it down. Breathe in, raise the left leg. Breathing out, lower down. One more time, each leg. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one, breathing in. And breathing out. Bravo. Push up onto your hands and knees. Take your right hand off the mat. Left hand on top. Press the hips back towards your heels. Lower your head down so you can relax the neck. Lift your head back up and we change sides. Left hand off the mat. Right hand on top. Press the hips back. Lifting your head back up, reset the hands onto the mat. Fingers spread wide, dial out with the palms of the hands. Tuck your toes and take downward facing dog. Once again, pedal your feet right and left. Okay, let's take our right leg up between the hands. Spin your left heel down. Stay here with the hands at the floor. Bend your right knee and make sure the knee's going towards the baby toe. Stay here for a little while. Couple of deep breaths. I'm just going to check. Music is too loud, so I'm going to bring it down. Stay here, breathing in and out. There we go. I've lowered.
Sorry, excuse me, this is Agnieszka. I don't know if this is my phone, but you know, your voice is mixed up with the music, which is like pausing, and it's very difficult to concentrate.
Tell you what, I'll turn off the music. Sorry about that.
I don't know the word in English. C'est très aigu.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No problem. Listen, I'm glad you wrote me the message, and I'm glad I've taken it off. No problem. So we've still got the right leg forward. Everybody still have the right leg forward? Hands on the floor. Take a deep breath in. The knee stays bent for the moment. And as you breathe out, gently straighten the leg. Okay? See how far you can go without letting the hands come off the floor. Breathe in, bend the knee. And breathe out, straighten the leg. Good. Breathing in, bend the knee. Breathing out, straighten the leg. Okay, do it one more time. Breathing in, bend the knee. Breathe out, straighten the leg. Okay, hold with the leg as straight as possible. Check that you are dialing your right foot out. So this gets the knee in the proper position. It's going to get the leg in the proper position. And you should feel it at the hip as well. Everything sort of locks itself in. Okay, rebend the right knee and move back to downward facing dog. Good job, everybody. Good job. Move your hips from side to side, releasing, letting go. And remember, it's hot today. And if you need a glass of water, you can go ahead and take one, just take sips, small sips, okay? It's more important that you don't get overheated or dehydrated during class, okay? All right. Let's take our left leg up between the hands. Spin your right heel down. The knee is bent for the moment. Okay, hold it here for a moment. So we hold it almost exactly the same amount of time as we did with the right leg. Check that you're dialing your left foot out so the knee moves towards the baby toe. Okay? A few deep breaths here with the knee bent. Feel what's going on in your hip. Everything should be lining itself up nicely. Now let's take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, straighten the leg as much as possible. It doesn't have to be fully straightened. Breathing in, rebend the knee. Breathing out, straighten the leg. Breathing in, bend the knee. Breathing out, straighten. We'll do that one more time. Breathing in, bend. Breathing out, straighten. And as you straighten here, hold. See if you can dial the foot out so you feel the knee begins to move out. And the hip, you should feel it locks itself in nicely. There is a big stretch behind the thigh. That's normal, but it's an active stretch. Release this, setting your hands down, retake your downward facing dog. And pedal your feet if you wish, moving the hips side to side. All right, let's look to our hands and begin taking baby steps forward. Make it to the front edge of your mat. Knees bend softly. Dial your feet out so you get that activation. Grab your elbows and allow yourself to move from side to side. Very gently, just rocking side to side. That's it. Lower your arms down now to the earth and roll your right and left shoulders, releasing any tension in the shoulders. Turn your head from right to left, a little no. And then up and down for a little yes. Check your feet, bring them in about hip width, so about 10 to 15 centimeters between the big toes. Second toes lining up in two parallel lines. Bend your knees, dialing your feet out, hands to your hips, elbows up. Lift your chin, pressing down into the earth. Lift your chest and come all the way up to standing. Releasing the arms. You want curve in the low back. You want to dial your feet out. Let your shoulders float. Hands come to your heart center. At your next deep breath in, let's raise the arms and stretch skyward. As you breathe out, fold, bending at the knees. Take your time and bring your hands down to the earth. Coming to a halfway lift, stretch your spine long, and we'll step back to a plank position. Now, in this plank position, dialing your hands out, make everything strong. We're gonna move our hips. So I want you to dip your right hip. You're gonna twist, dip your right hip down, and then come back to center. If you're not sure, take a look at the video. Dipping your left hip down, come back to center. Right hip twists and dips down, back to center. We're working core muscles here, getting them warmed up. Left hip, back to center. One more time each side. Right hip, back to center, and left hip. Back to center. Lower your knees down and move all the way down to the floor. Pointing your toes, lengthening out your legs, squeeze your shoulder blades. Let's rise to a cobra. Bring your chest back down. Push up onto your hands and knees. And back to downward facing dog. Pedal your feet right and left, right and left. Looking to your hands, take big steps forward. Come to that halfway lift. folding forward, knees bend, dialing the feet out, hands to your hips, elbows up, push down, rise to standing, and hands come to your heart center. Refine that perfect posture. Legs strong, feet dialing out, hips back, chest lifted. Let's go. Deep breath in. Breathing out, fold. Halfway lift, breathing in. Step back to your plank position. This time, we're going to go from plank to down dog 3 times. So you take a deep breath in, breathe out, push back to down dog. Breathing into plank, push back down dog. This time move into plank and move down to the earth slowly. Pointing your toes, lengthen out your legs, dialing the hands out, rise to a cobra. Bring your chest back down. Push up onto the hands and knees. And then back to downward facing dog. Pedal your feet right and left. Okay. From here, bring your right knee down underneath the right hip. Left hand goes to the left hip. Raise your left arm, and if possible, raise your left leg. Hold it here. Deep breathing, lengthen out the arms. Looking up at the sky. Left foot is flexed. 3, 2, 1. Bring the left hand down, but keep the left leg up. Reach your right arm out in front of you. Hold it here. Lengthen out. Right arm lengthens, left leg lengthens. 3, 2, 1. Bring the right hand down. Bring the left toes down. We're going to push back to down dog, raising the right leg. So right leg goes up, up, up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Yes, open your toes. Straighten out the right leg and bring the foot between the hands all the way forward. Scoot it forward if you need to. Spin your left heel down. Rise to a perfect warrior 2 position. Arms stretched straight. Right knee going towards the baby toe. So you've got that dialing out action of the right foot. Stretch your arms as long as possible. Sinking down nicely. Engage the legs. Reverse and hold for a moment. Opening up the right hand side of the body. 3, 2, 1. Let's move back down again to a plank position. And from here, take a deep breath in. Breathe out to down dog. Breathing into plank. Breathing out to down dog. One more time into plank and slowly move yourself down to the earth. Point your toes, lengthen out your legs, dialing your hands out, rise to a cobra. Bring your chest back down and push back. Downward facing dog. This time, bring your left knee down. Bring it under your left hip. Right arm goes up to the sky. If possible, raise your right leg. If not, it's not a big deal. You can keep the foot down. Open the arms. Stretch nicely from the right hand to the left. Really raise the right leg, right foot flexed. 3, 2, 1. Bring the right hand down. Keep that right leg up. Raise your left arm out in front of you. Stretch well from your left hand to your right foot. Holding. 3, 2, 1. Bring the left hand down. You'll tuck your right toes under behind you. Your left leg will come up. Take a deep breath in. Down dog, left leg up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Then stretch the leg straight. Bring it between your hands now. Spin your right heel down, rising to your warrior two. Dialing your left foot out. So you dial it out, getting the knee going towards the baby toe. Bend the left knee nicely. Engage into the legs. Now reverse. And we'll hold. 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands back down again. We take the plank position. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out to down dog. Breathing into plank. Strong plank. Breathing out, down dog. Back to plank. And move yourself down. Pointing your toes, lengthen out. Rise to a cobra. And push back, downward facing dog. If you need to here, take a child's pose. Everyone should be pretty warmed up now. Okay, as it's quite hot, unless you have air conditioning, lucky. But it's quite hot. We're not going to be moving very quickly, so take your time. Okay, if you have taken child's pose, come back to downward facing dog. Good. Look to your hands, step or jump forward. Come to that halfway lift. Folding forward. Bend your knees down low. Hands to the thighs and lift your chest into a chair position. Here it's super important. Keep your back curved. Keep your feet perfectly parallel. You want to dial your feet out. The knees might move out a little bit. That's fine. Keep the belly in. Lift the chest. So the knees shouldn't go out wide. Okay, they should stay over the feet, but they'll go more towards the baby toes than the big toes. Hands can come to your hips now. I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades so your elbows will move back behind you. And turn your hands so that they're at your low back, just at the spot that we've massaged at the beginning of the class. And feel that you can push your hands down and the low back resists a little bit. Lift the chest. Hold here, squeezing the elbows. 3, 2, 1. Raise the arms up, stretching skyward. Take a deep breath in and fold forward. Halfway lift, breathing in. Step back to a plank position. Okay, here you can decide whether or not you do a push-up or you move straight down. Point your toes, cobra, and downward facing dog. Right leg to warrior two. Be sure you're dialing out. Rise up, reverse it, and move back down again to a plank position. Decide whether or not you want to do a push-up. All the way down, cobra, and down dog. Left leg to warrior two. Dial out with the left foot, reverse, back down again to plank. One more push-up, all the way down, cobra, and down dog. Whew. Pedal your feet if you wish. Looking to your hands, step or jump forward. Halfway lift, holding forward, hands to your hips, come up to standing. And relax the arms by your sides. Okay. Take a few deep breaths. If you need to, get a sip of water. I actually need a sip of water. We're going to be working on 2 postures and going through those 2 postures. So first, tree pose. You'll start with your right leg. Bend the knee, bring it out to the side, okay? Now, either you have the foot near the floor. If you're at the knee, the heel is higher than the kneecap or the inner thigh. Set your gaze at one point, setting your focus at one point. Raise the arms in a V position. Lift through the chest. Okay. From here, arms out to the sides, getting ready for airplane. Send the leg back behind you into an airplane position. And then rise back up to a tree position. To the airplane. Working through the postures, this is working your stabilizing muscles, the deeper muscles. Rising back up. And this is challenging you, fatiguing the left leg. Go back into airplane. Rise back up to tree. And release the foot down. Whew. Shake out. So getting into fatigue is what's going to get those muscles stronger and better at supporting you and better at balance, okay? If you fall out of the postures, it's all right. Don't worry about it, just retake them again. So let's go for the left leg. Bend the left knee, bring it out to the side. Ankle, knee, or inner thigh. Tree pose, arms in the V. Engage nicely into the right leg. You're gonna dial out the right foot. Keep the belly lifted. Deep breath in and move into airplane. Back into tree. Stay strong. Back to airplane. Control the movements. Back into tree. One more time into airplane. And into tree. And lower the arms, lower the foot. Shaking out. Good job. Very good. Okay. Let's raise our right knee up. Squeeze it in towards the chest. Hold it here and relax your right foot. Then grab behind the thigh, flex your right foot strongly, and send the leg out in front of you. Relax the shoulders. Open the foot as strongly as possible. Holding, lift your eyes. 3, 2, 1. Now here's the challenge. Bring your hands to your hips, keep the leg up. Belly in. 3, 2, 1. Bring the leg down. Woo! Shake it out. Kick up the same leg, that right leg, and grab the ankle. If you can, bring the left hand around and grab with both hands. Pull the heel in towards the hip. Lift the chest, and you're stretching out the quadricep. You should really feel that. Push your hands into your foot to get the heel really tightly into the hip. Lifting the chest. Holding another 3, 2, and 1. Release and shake out. Good job. Okay, left leg. Lift up the knee. Pull it in towards the chest. Relax the foot for the moment. Just hold for a moment. Then grab behind the thigh. Flex your foot strongly and bring the leg out in front of you. Toes open, Foot flexed, everything strong. Lift your chest. Your standing leg is as strong as possible. Drop the shoulders. And then we bring the hands to the hips. Hold the leg up there. 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Whew, shake out. Bring that left foot up. Grab the ankle or the foot. You could have one hand on or both. Pull the heel into the hip. Squeeze the legs tight. Lift the chest. Get a good stretch of the quadriceps. Holding. 3, 2, 1. And letting go. Good job, everyone. Come back to the front edge of your mat. Hands at your heart center. Take a deep breath in and let's rise skyward. As you fold, breathe out. Halfway lift, breathing in, stepping back to your plank position. Hold your strong plank, fingers turning out, belly in, thighs lifted, hips lifted. The breath is in the chest and the upper back. The belly is tight. We take 5 more breaths. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees down and lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Bring your hands under your forehead. Move your hips from side to side to relax and let go. Very good, everyone. Lifting your head up, bring your arms around and clasp your hands together. Stretch your arms as straight as possible. Lift the head, chest, shoulders, arms, and legs. Snake pose. Holding here. If you would like to go farther, you could bend your knees now, clasp the ankles or feet, and rise to bow. If not, you stay in snake. Stay for another 3 breaths, whatever you've chosen. Come on down. Hands under the shoulders, push up onto the knees. Walking your knees forward. Let's swing the feet around. And we're going to move onto our backs right away. Grab behind the thighs and roll down. Start with the hamstring bridge. So walk your feet away, heels into the floor, arms pressing down, head down as well. Squeeze the shoulder blades and lift your hips up. Taking deep, slow breaths here. Really engage nicely into the backs of the legs. 3 more breaths. Lower your hips down. Walk your feet in towards the hips. Feet flat, knees hip width. This time elbows into the floor, squeezing the shoulder blades. Rise to half bridge pose. Staying here, breathing. Engage nicely into the glutes. You're going to feel the thighs contracting as well. Raise your arms over your head, reaching behind you. You'll lower the back 1 vertebra at a time, very, very slowly. Taking your time. Once you're all the way down, soles of the feet together, knees wide, set your hands at the fronts of the hips. and rock gently from side to side on the hips. You can, of course, have your feet closer to you or farther away. Find the position which is going to work. Now rock all the way to the right and let your knees go one on top of the other. Keep your shoulders down, stretch the arms wide, and turn your head to look at your left hand. Raise your left knee first. Right knee follows. Now let your knees fall to your left. Arms stay wide. Turn your head to the right, looking at your right hand. Spinal twist. Raise your right knee up, left knee follows. Crossing the right leg completely over the left. Raise both legs and grab your feet, pulling your feet towards the shoulders. If this is too much for the knees, you can do the classic pigeon where you have like a 4 position with your legs. Right ankle over the left thigh, okay? Or you can do the full crossed hip stretch. Pulling the heels towards the shoulders, stay here and just breathe deeply. Release, uncrossing, and we change sides. Same thing, if you feel too much your knees, you can have the ankle at the thigh or your legs completely crossed. Grab the ankles or the feet and pull them towards the shoulders. Head is relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Deep breathing. Uncross. Now we take a happy baby pose. Feet wide, knees wide. Grab either the feet, the ankles, or even just behind the thighs. And pull the knees towards the shoulders. Feel that there's that stretch at the low back, that place that we massaged at the very beginning of class. Release, bending the knees, bring the knees together. Squeeze your knees tightly to your chest. Lift your head, nose between the knees. Lowering the head down. Let's take the tennis ball or the block or rolled up mat or pillow if you have one. Place it once again behind the low back, the region that we massaged at the beginning. And this time simply rock from side to side. Then perhaps do a little circle on the ball. Change the direction. Of course, if you have the block or the mat, you won't be able to roll and rock. Just make some small movements with the hips. And then side to side once again. Then lift the hips, place the block or the ball to the side. Lower your hips down onto the earth. Now from this position, we're just going to do a gentle movement I want you to breathe in, curling the hips backwards. So you have a big space between the low back and the floor. And then as you breathe out, you press the low back down, curling the hips under. Breathe in, you press the hips back into the floor, curling the low back. Breathe out, press the low back down. And again, 3 more times. Breathe in, make it slow. So we're just cooling down the body. Breathe out, press the low back down. 2 more times. This should not be painful. So make it slow and easy, easy. Good. 1 more time. Breathing in, curling, and breathing out. Excellent. If you would like, you could stretch your legs onto the floor, or instead you could take a butterfly position with the legs. The movement with breath that we just did was activating Svadhisthana chakra, which is our lower belly chakra, which is related to the sacrum, the very low part of the back that we massaged. Taking some deep, slow breaths. Just do a quick body scan. Check your body and see if there's any part of the body that is holding on to any tensions. And as if you have a little eraser, go through the body and erase any tensions you might be feeling. Scrub them out. From the head to the shoulders. The shoulders down the arms, into the wrists and the hands. Down the back, from the upper back down to the lower back. Just erase any tensions. Down the chest and tummy. Into your hips. Into the thighs. Using that little eraser just to erase any tension. Into the knees. To the lower legs and ankles. Into the feet and the toes. Allow yourself just to relax and let go. We're going to work with the mantra that relates to Svadhisthana chakra. First, we'll use the sound that relates to the chakra, which is VAM. V-A-M, VAM. Imagine this sound vibrating from the center of your body, moving outward to all extremities, towards the head, the toes, out to the sides, down the arms, down towards the feet. VAM. Now taking you towards an English phrase, which can mean something a little bit different to all of us. I've taken this phrase from a movie called The Wizard of Oz. And the phrase is, "There's no place like home." So as you breathe in, just take a deep, slow breath in. And as you breathe out, imagine this phrase emanating throughout your body. There's no place like home. You breathe in, and as you breathe out, there's no place like home. There's no place like home. Deep, slow breaths. Allow this vibration to enter into every cell of the body. There's no place like home. When I use this phrase, it's about my own body, the place where I live, inside. And it's the best place I can be. There's no place like home. And it helps to remind me to treat myself well, to take care of myself. How I live, eat, drink, rest, work, and with my physical activities. There's no place like home. For the next minute or so, allow yourself to think about whatever you like. Let go of the thoughts. Let go of the mantra. And just be free. Coming back slowly, begin moving your fingers and your toes. Move your hands and your feet. Take some deep, slow breaths. Gently raise your arms over your head, stretching from fingers to toes. And then lifting your knees up to your chest, squeeze them into the chest. If you'd like, rock a bit from side to side. And stretching your right arm to your right ear. Roll all the way to your right hand side, onto the shoulder, onto the hip. Setting your hands down in front of you, lift up from the side and come to a seated position. Very nice. All right. Let's rub our hands together. And if you're sure that your hands are disinfected, you can bring them against your face and gently tap around your eyes and shake out. If not, just energetically bring your hands in front of the face. Feel the heat, and then you can shake out. We'll do that one more time, waking yourself up, coming back. Hands over the face, just prepping the face to be able to meet others and to get on with our day. Shake your hands out. Bring your hands to your heart center. And thank you very much for joining me today on Zoom. Everybody have a lovely, lovely day. Namaste. All the best. Well done.